The far realm stretches before you, an expanse of endless, swirling chaos where the very fabric of reality seems uncertain. Vibrant, otherworldly colors meld and shift, creating patterns that tug at the edges of sanity. Strange, floating islands drift in the void, each one hosting bizarre flora and twisted structures that defy conventional geometry. A sense of discomfort and unease settles over the party, the air thick with a palpable tension.
I whisper an incantation and conjure a small, controlled flame in my hand, using it to warm a glass sphere, causing it to glow brightly. I raise the now illuminated sphere high above our heads to pierce through the chaotic darkness, aiming to create a comforting focal point to ground our sanity and ease our unease. Let's keep our eyes on this light and move forward, together.
I plant my feet firmly on the ground, gripping my shield tightly and scanning the area for any immediate threats. Stay close, everyone! If anything tries to mess with us, they'll have to get through me first.
I nimbly dart forward, keeping to the shadows, and survey the closest twisted structure for hidden traps or clues about its origin, whispering, "I'll see if there's anything we'd rather not step on."
I step forward into the swirling chaos, feeling Kelemvor's presence steadying my spirit. With a soft chant, I cast sanctuary on the party to protect us from immediate harm. Remember, in the dance of chaos and order, death is the only true constant.
A sudden shift in the far realm's chaotic patterns reveals a grotesque, tentacled creature emerging from the shadows near Wisp, its multitude of eyes fixated on the young rogue. It lunges forward with unnerving speed, aiming to ensnare him in its writhing appendages. At the same moment, a haunting whisper echoes through the environment, resonating with Seraph's chant, amplifying it unnaturally, and causing her to stumble as an unseen force tugs at her very soul. The air grows colder around Thoradin, the ground beneath him cracking open to reveal a bottomless abyss, threatening to suck him in if he loses his footing.
I flick my hand towards the grotesque creature attacking Wisp, uttering an incantation to unleash a searing jet of flame, aiming to either force it to release him or incinerate it outright. No one tangles with my friends and gets away with it.
I dig my heels into the ground, bracing myself against the pull of the abyss beneath me, and then charge forward with my shield raised high, aiming to bash the tentacled creature away from Wisp. Hold on, Wisp. Help's on the way.
I spring into action, deftly rolling to the side to dodge the tentacles while reaching into my pouch to toss a small vial of poison directly at the creature's eyes. Guess who isn't on tonight's menu?
Staggering from the unseen force tugging at my soul, I grit my teeth and push through the disorienting whispers. I extend my hand toward the tentacled creature and weave an incantation to cast Hold Person, attempting to freeze it in place. The stillness of death can calm even the most fervent chaos.
The searing jet of flame from Pyra strikes the tentacled creature, causing it to writhe in pain and release a horrific, guttural screech before turning to ash. Thoradin's charge steadies him on the cracked ground, ensuring his footing remains solid. Wisp's deft roll brings him to safety as the creature's remains dissipate into the void. Seraph's spell weaves through the air, but with the creature already disintegrated, the chaotic whispers intensify, causing her to clutch her chest as an icy chill courses through her veins. As the echoes fade, the party hears a distant, booming laughter from the twisted structure ahead, casting an even deeper dread over the group.
I step closer to Seraph, placing a hand on her shoulder and channeling a warm, soothing flame to drive away the chilling whispers and steady her nerves. Deep breaths, Seraph. We're stronger together.
I take point, my eyes scanning the twisted structure ahead where the laughter came from, and raise my shield defensively, advancing cautiously. All right, lads and lasses, stay sharp. We ain't alone here, and whatever's laughing ain't friendly.
I creep ahead of the group, moving silently towards the twisted structure with my dagger drawn, keeping to the shadows and listening intently for any clues or traps. I'll suss out what's got such a good sense of humor.
I close my eyes for a moment, drawing strength from Kelemvor's presence, then lift my gaze towards the twisted structure ahead, feeling the dread morph into resolve. I cast Detect Evil and Good to sense any otherworldly presences or threats lurking within the structure. In the embrace of the unknown, we find the path to our true fate.
As the party approaches the twisted structure, they see grotesque, gargoyle-like creatures perched atop the archway, their stone eyes glowing ominously. Wisp, moving ahead of the group, narrowly detects and disarms a cleverly hidden tripwire, revealing a line of jagged, poisoned spikes. Suddenly, the booming laughter emanates from the very walls of the structure, shifting into a deep, malevolent voice that echoes, "Welcome, mortals, to your doom." The ground beneath their feet trembles violently, fissures snaking across the surface as spiked vines shoot up, attempting to ensnare the adventurers in a deadly embrace.
I flare my hands towards the ground, summoning searing bursts of flame to incinerate the spiked vines before they can entangle us. I didn't come all this way to be held back by weeds.
I plant my shield firmly into the ground and swing my axe in a wide defensive arc, aiming to sever the spiked vines trying to tangle us. Back off, you rooty nuisances!
I nimbly dart between the spiked vines, slicing at them with my dagger, all the while scanning the area for a hidden mechanism to stop the trap. You call this a warm welcome? Pathetic.
I raise my holy symbol high, invoking Kelemvor's power to channel Turn Undead, aiming to drive away the grotesque gargoyles and any other malevolent forces lurking in the shadows. The light of the beyond compels you. Begone, wretched souls of the abyss.
The spiked vines sizzle and crumble under Pyra's flames, but not before one manages to graze Thoradin's leg, leaving a painful gash. Thoradin's defensive swing cleaves through the remaining vines, providing a moment's respite. Wisp's nimble movements lead him to the base of one of the gargoyle pillars, where he finds a concealed lever and pulls it, causing the ground to stabilize and the fissures to halt. Seraph's holy power radiates outward, causing the gargoyles to screech and retreat, while the malevolent voice shifts to a frustrated growl. "Very well. Let's see how you fare against my true champions." The echoes end, leaving an eerie silence as an ominous, heavily fortified door at the far end of the structure begins to creak open.
I conjure a small, floating orb of fire and send it ahead towards the creaking door to light the way and reveal any hidden threats lurking within the shadows. Let's see what uglies lie behind door number 1.
I grit my teeth and brace against the pain in my leg, raising my shield defensively as I approach the creaking door. "Stay behind me! I've got this!"
I slip into the shadows near the creaking door, moving silently and carefully peeking inside to scout for any immediate threats or hidden traps before the rest of the party enters. Let's see what we're up against.
I step solemnly toward Thoradin, placing my hand on his wounded leg and invoking Kelemvor's blessing to cast Cure Wounds, closing his gash. Every pain we mend is but a prelude to the inevitable end.
3 sesames. The door creaks open. An overwhelming wave of frigid air rushes out, quickly covering the ground in a layer of ice. The floating orb of fire reveals a grand hall, its walls adorned with glowing runes and ice-covered chains hanging from the ceiling. At the far end of the hall, a massive, frost-coated figure steps forward, wielding a double-bladed axe that hums with icy energy. In a low, rumbling voice, the figure speaks, "I am Erkon, guardian of the frozen depths. Your journey ends here."
I step boldly forward, extending both hands in front of me as I conjure a swirling mass of molten magma, aiming to send a river of it snaking across the icy floor towards Erkon to melt the ice and weaken his defenses. Think you can freeze me out? Let's thaw this situation.
I plant my shield firmly and dig my heels into the icy floor, using my brute strength to power through the slick surface and charge straight at Erkon, aiming to shield bash him off balance. "Lads, let's crack this icicle wide open."
I dart swiftly along the edge of the hall, keeping to the shadows, and silently move towards the nearest hanging ice-covered chain, intending to climb up and get a better vantage point above Erkon. Time to slip the noose around the big guy.
I clutch my holy symbol and utter a low, ancient prayer, invoking Kelemvor's wrath to cast Bane on Erkon, aiming to sap his strength and diminish his attacks. Even the greatest guardian must fall when his time has come.
30 C7-meter Pyra's molten magma rushes forward, meeting the icy floor with a violent hiss, steam billowing up and momentarily obscuring Erkon. As the magma strikes, The ice beneath Erkan's feet cracks, but the Guardian remains firm, his frosty aura combating the intense heat. Thoradin's shield bash connects with Erkan's torso with a resounding clang, the massive figure staggering slightly, but quickly regaining composure. From above, Wisp catches a glint of silvery metal within the chains, a mechanism that, if triggered, could potentially bring them down upon Erkan. Seraph's prayer sees dark tendrils of Kelemvor's power wrapping around the Guardian, making his movements sluggish and labored. Erkan, struggling against this malevolent force, roars in defiance and swings his icy axe with an almost desperate fury, aiming a wide arc at both Thoradin and Pyra. In the midst of these actions, the resonant, chilling laughter once again echoes through the hall.
I swerve to the side to evade Erkan's sweeping axe, simultaneously conjuring a fiery shield around Thoradin to absorb the impact of the blow and protect him from harm. Stay behind the flames, Thoradin!
With Pyra's fiery shield mitigating some of the icy axe's force, I stand my ground and push back against the massive swing with my shield, using every ounce of my strength to hold the line. "You'll need more than that to break me, Erkan!" I shout, striving to keep him off balance for Wisp's maneuver.
I leap across the hanging chains to the glinting mechanism, using my dexterity to nimbly balance and pull it, aiming to bring the chains crashing down on Erkan from above. Time for a cold shower, big guy.
I position myself strategically to keep up my concentration on Bane, then murmur a prayer to Kelemvor and cast Guiding Bolt at Erkan, hoping to illuminate him for my allies' attacks. May the light of impending death guide our hand.
The chains cascade down from above, striking Erkan with a thunderous crash. The icy Guardian lets out a pained bellow as the metal links entangle him, pinning him to the cracked, steaming floor. Seraph's guiding bolt blazes an unerring path, illuminating Erkan in a radiant glow that leaves him momentarily vulnerable. Amidst the chaos, the chilling laughter sharpens into a sinister chuckle, and a shadowy figure steps forth from the icy walls, cloaked in frost and wielding an eerie, dark staff. "You've bested one Guardian," the figure hisses, "but the depths hold far more peril than you can fathom."
I focus intensely on the shadowy figure with the dark staff, conjuring a searing beam of pure sunlight and flame, aiming it directly at the figure to illuminate and hopefully weaken them. "Let's see how you like the light, Shadowmancer."
I grit my teeth and, fueled by the sight of our new foe, I push off the now vulnerable Erkan, raising my shield defensively as I charge towards the shadowy figure, aiming to ram into them with all my might to break their concentration and disrupt any spell they're casting. "You're not the only one who can wield power in these depths, villain."
I nimbly descend from the chains, moving stealthily behind the shadowy figure to remain unseen and ready my dagger to strike at their exposed back at the opportune moment. Too busy playing with shadows to notice me, pal?
I regard the shadowy figure with icy resolve, extending my hand and invoking Kelemvor's dominion to cast silence in a 20-foot radius sphere around them, aiming to stifle their malign incantations. In the realm of the quiet dead, your voice holds no dominion.